Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video we're going to do our holes around this outside ring that go all the way through. They're going to actually clamp the housing, the thruster housing to the board. And then after that we'll mirror all of this to make our other one over here. So that part will be really easy. The first one's hard, the second one's super easy. All right, let's get to it. So I'm going to create a sketch on this top surface right here. And I'm going to draw a circle. Well, maybe I'm not actually. Yeah, I'm going to draw a circle. I'm going to draw a construction circle. I'm going to find the center of the overall circle and draw it out. And I want to put it kind of like a little bit over the middle. So kind of there. I'm just going to put it down for now. And I'm going to use my dimensioning tool. And I want to make sure that the distance between these two circles right in here, I don't want my screws to get too far to the edge. So I'm going to grab a screw that I'm using, and I'm just going to measure the top head of it like this, and that ends up being right around 8 millimeters. So I'm going to keep this maybe 8 millimeters from the edge. So this is, my holes are going to go along this dashed line now. So I'm going to go grab another circle tool, and I'm going to click maybe over in here-ish, turn off the circle pattern tool, and this is going to be the actual hole that the screw goes down through. So I want to make sure the hole is bigger than the width of the screw. It's 4.05, so I'm going to make this hole about 4.5 millimeters, just to make it a little extra big. So 4.5 millimeters, enter. And now what I could do is add another one over here and another one over here, or I can do a circle pattern tool. So I'm gonna go create here, go to circle pattern. The object that I'm gonna pattern is this circle right here. Whoops, I have the center point, not the actual circle. So I want that blue to be the outside circle like that. Click the center point, that's the center point of my pattern that I wanna do. And I had it set to 3, and that looks good. I'm gonna click OK. So here are the 3 positions of those circles, and that looks pretty good. And I can rotate them around by grabbing my original circle and just pulling it, and you'll see how it it just adjusts everything. So I think that actually, like right about there, looks pretty good to me. I'm trying to maximize how, I don't want them to be too close to this edge, so that's why I have it a little bit farther away here and a little bit farther away here. All right. And I'm going to extrude these. I'm going to shoot these holes through all the layers. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to say I'm going to extrude it all the way so you can see the bottom. And I'm going to say to object. I'm going to click on the bottom here, and it extrudes all the way to the bottom. Click OK. And now I've got my screw holes going all the way through. Now what I need to do on the bottom is I need to actually cut a square hole in this first layer of plywood, this bottom layer of plywood, so that the square nut can sit inside there. And I need to grab a square nut so I can measure its dimensions. Okay, so I have the square nut now. I'm just going to measure it real quick. So the dimension here is 8.5. So I might round that up to 9 because I want to make sure that it's big enough to have the nut going. If it's too small, I have to redo everything. So I'm going to create a sketch on the bottom surface here. And that's captured all my geometry. So I'm just going to come grab a rectangle tool. I want to use a center point rectangle because I want the center of the rectangle to be right on that circle. And I'm going to drag it out, and I'm going to do 9, tab, 9, enter. Whoops. Enter. And I'm going to do the same thing on all of them. So I'm going to come here, center point rectangle, go to the middle of the circle, drag out, and do 9, tab, 9, enter, and one more of them. Rectangle, center point, center of the circle, 9, tab, 9, enter. Now I need to extrude these down through one layer of the plywood. So I'm going to tip it over a little bit, hit E for extrude. I'm going to click on all 3 of these. And I want to go, it's facing towards me as positive, so I want to go the other way, so I'm going to go negative. And I'm going to do thickness. I don't want the thin plywood, I want that thick plywood. And then I'm going to hit enter. And now I've got my recessed little square holes that are going to hold the nuts for us. And the screws are going to come down, it's going to clamp on. This all looks fantastic. All right, so at this point, I think we're done with the thruster mounting on this side. We need to make one on this side. So we could do that process all over again, copying all the numbers over, or we can do this cool trick, and it is called create and a mirror. And it's asking us what things we want to mirror. We have bodies selected. We can start selecting things that we want to mirror. But then it's going to ask us what the mirror plane is. And we need something, a plane right down the middle of our body so that we can have it be the mirror that we're going to mirror around. So I'm going to hit cancel here. We got to do that first. I'm going to do a construction plane. And I'm going to choose the one called mid plane. And what this does is it creates a plane, a surface, in between two other things, right in the middle of them. So I want it right down the middle through here, so I need to choose one of these sides, these flat sides here. So I'm going to click on this one, and it's going to give me a plane right in between that and this flat one here. And you can see now I have a plane cutting through the middle of my hovercraft. Now I've got something I can mirror around. All right, so here we go. Going back to create, mirror. I have it set to objects, or sorry, bodies. And then I'm going to come over here and click on all of these. I want all of my rings. So 1, 2, 3, 4 rings. And then I'm going to say mirror plane. I'm going to mirror around this. Then I'm going to say OK. And notice how it just made a whole set of ring ones that are all of the ones on the right. So pretty cool we were able to do that. That's pretty slick. But when I look at the bottom, I notice, oh, wait a second, but I didn't cut any holes for over here. And that's okay, because I can actually mirror these holes as well. So to do that, I'm going to do create, mirror again. This time, instead of mirroring an entire body, I just want to mirror a feature of a body, so just part of a body. And the things I want to mirror, I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to click on, see how I got that hole, right? Whoop, well, that's too much. I'm going to unselect that real quick. I want to get, oh, and this can be hard to click, it's going to be hard to select. Zoom in a bunch. I want that. That's that square hole. I also want that circular hole right there. So those are the two things I want. And notice how it's already picked them up in all three of them. And then my mirror plane that I'm going to mirror it around again is this middle thing. You can see where it's going to cut it right in there. And I'm going to say OK. Now when I flip it over, I've got those holes in exactly the right place on this side and that side. Everything is done. Now this mirror, this plane here is going to be ugly and in the way a bunch, so I'm going to come here to my construction, turn that off real quick. Now at this point, I want to start trying to imagine what this is going to look like, and all this is going to be plywood. So I'm actually going to do A for appearance, click on the A key, and then here in the wood, I'm going to choose one of these woods, and I'm just going to drop it in on all of these layers. So mid layer, and maybe I can actually select all of these. So I'm going to click on the first one, hold down shift, click on the last one, and see if I drop it on all of them if they all change. Oh, that was way faster. Nice. What a technique. And now I've got all of that modeled in, and it looks like wood now. So I can start imagining what it's going to look like in real life. All right, we'll close the appearances menu. Now we've got both of our thrusters modeled in place. We just need to attach them. And we need to do the downdraft, and then we have the third layer of plywood here, and then the skirt layer next. And we'll do that in the next video. Good job so far. Hang in there.